You're going to give a TED Talk, you're thinking about giving a TED Talk, it's a bucket list idea of yours that one day you'll give a TED Talk. This video is for you. And I'm going to talk about 10 things that you need to work on in order to give a TED Talk and be successful, generate views of the TED Talk and then turn that into something. And the 10 areas that I'm going to talk about, I've got them up on the wall here behind to remind me. Why are you doing this? Study the best, build your advisory group, commit to iterative development, find events, develop the content, structure your talk, practice the delivery, stage presence, prepare your materials, slides, handouts, landing page, and then marketing. Make sure you are building social media so that when your talk goes live, people actually want to see it. Now let's go one by one through each of these areas, and you'll find in the description below a link to a PDF, a one-page mind map that gives you the questions in each of these 10 areas, some details of what you need to be thinking about. But let's start with the first area. Why? How does this TED Talk help you? Where will you be 5 years from now that this TED Talk can position you differently? Are you giving this talk for personal reasons? Are you giving this talk so that the job of your dreams, if they want to see your CV, you can send them a link to your TED Talk? Is there a business reason? Are you an entrepreneur with a product and you're thinking of using the TED Talk in some way of helping you sell your product, sell your company? What's your personal purpose for giving this TED Talk? It's not enough that it's an item on a bucket list to tick off. You can do that, but I think a TED Talk has the power to be much more than that. If you're considering making the shift to be a paid professional speaker, to give keynotes, a TEDx can be a wonderful platform for building your ability to make that shift. If it's something that you want to share a solution with the world, excellent. If it's an invention that you have that you'd like to sell, but make sure you're very clear on the purpose. If it's just to complete a task on a bucket list, I don't think it's going to work out. There's probably easier ways of achieving that. But what's your purpose? The second thing is study the best. There are thousands and thousands of TED Talks, and I think each person that intends to give a TED Talk needs to find what they think are the best. So find the TED Talks that you think are the best and make a list of the 10 TED Talks that most reach you. And study. How do they start? What's the content? How do they finish? What are the ingredients? How they bring their own personality into the talk? How they use the materials? So take time to study excellence. There are excellent TED Talks out there. Find the best and study them. And sometimes the best are not the most viewed. The best are the ones that achieve the outcome that you want. So if it's the shift to be a paid professional speaker, find TED Talks that were the launching point of a speaker. Simon Sinek is a paid professional speaker that was launched when his TED video went viral. But if you look at his TED video, you can understand why. He has positioned himself as an expert through the medium of the talk. The third area, build your advisory group. When you have a date or when you're thinking about giving a TED Talk, it's a wonderful opportunity to reach out to mentors and say, you've always inspired me. I have a unique opportunity coming up this year. I would really welcome the opportunity to have some conversations with you to help me shape the content, help me connect to experts. So one is reaching out to people you respect and admire. Another is reaching out to the category experts, the known experts in the domain that you want to be talking about, and speaking to them and getting their input. So another group are speaking experts, coaches, people who work with speakers to help them put their ideas clear on a page and work to get that page turned into delivery, a delivery that reaches the audience, is memorable and really moves the audience to change, to take action. So build your advisory group. Fourth, what I call iterative development. And this begins with, as soon as you finish this video, take out your webcam. Might be on your phone, might be a camera like the Canon G7X I have looking back at me here. Could be the webcam on your computer. Turn that camera on, look into the lens, and give your first draft now. It can be as bad as you like, because there's a button top right on the computer, delete. But right now, give your first draft. If you can get a draft, you can improve it. If you haven't got a draft, you have nothing to work with. Do not wait any longer. Switch the video on today and give your very first, doesn't matter how bad it is, but get a draft out there onto camera. You can then begin the iterative process of day by day by day, finding one thing to improve, and each day make the video, look at it. When you are super happy with how you come across in video, then find a friend. Say, do you have 18 minutes? Have a seat. Give them your talk. Watch their face. Are there moments where they look bright-eyed and interested? Are there moments where they look confused? All those moments of confusion, you need to understand what confused them, what took them off the message. In TED Talks, one of the curators of TED, there's a video which I'll also link to in the description. It's a video where she shares tips to all of the TED organizers about working with speakers. And one of the ideas that she conveys is a TED Talk, it's not enough that a TED Talk is a good talk. It's not enough that you deliver a good talk. It needs to be the best talk that you are capable of giving. It needs to be the best talk that you are capable of giving, not a preparation where you're capable of giving a pretty decent talk. This video is going to stay around for the rest of your life, for the life of your kids, for the life of your grandkids. It's not enough to give a pretty decent talk. It's not enough to do a haphazard process of preparation and kind of wing it. You need to decide that you are going to deliver the talk of your life, and you're going to commit that each day from now through to the moment that you stand on stage at the actual event, you'll record a video, watch it through, find one thing you'd like to improve. When you're happy with the video, find a friend. When your friends are good, find an enemy. But give your talk 100 times before you get on stage. Seinfeld, the comedian Jerry Seinfeld, has a documentary that follows his life as a comedian. And he talks about his first big break. And back as a young comedian, the goal of every young comedian when he was starting out was to get a slot on the Tonight Show. And he got a 5-minute slot on the Tonight Show. And in the documentary, he talks about how he prepared for those 5 minutes. And he delivered that 5-minute set over 200 times in every place he could get to, every audience he could get to, as many times as he could. And he wanted to know that those 5 minutes was not a pretty decent version of Jerry. Those 5 minutes were the best 5 minutes of material that Seinfeld could possibly bring, and work at making sure that those 5 minutes he really delivered. And he delivered. Those 5 minutes he delivered the best of Seinfeld, and that's what led him today to have a series in his name, to be a success, to be wealthy. But he earned those 5 minutes. If the lights go again, I'll be. Find events. Find events. You've got a TED event coming up in a couple of months. There's lots of forums where you can look to get your talk onto stage and get the experience of being on stage. There's nothing like spending minutes, hours on stage to get you ready for the feeling of being on stage. So find a local Toastmasters, volunteer to give them a speech. Find groups of entrepreneurs, volunteer to give a speech. Find local events that are willing to hear your speech and give it as many times as you can. Also, after you finish your TED Talk, make sure this doesn't just disappear off. Keep searching for events, for businesses, for associations where you can deliver this talk. To find ways of getting stage time. There's no other preparation for the feeling of being up on stage and delivering a talk than living the experience of being on stage. So deliver it in small events where there's no cameras, 3, 4, 5 times before you get up there on stage and have the TED camera filming you to save it for the rest of your life. Develop content. I think the most important question that you need to start answering right now: why should the audience care? Why should somebody sitting there in the audience, why should someone sitting watching this video care about what you have to say? And you need to address this question. So write down that question. Why does the audience care? What's in it for them? What improvement in their life satisfaction comes from knowing this speech, from hearing from me, from connecting to my worldview? What does the audience need to hear to make it interesting for them? So begin with this question. We'll cover some more material on how you bring your content together in future, but this question: what's in it for the audience? Why should they listen to me, and why should they listen to me about this topic? And sit down and think, who's in the audience? Who am I speaking to? What is their challenge in life, and why does my message reach them? There's a talk about from Chris Anderson, the curator of TED, and he says he remembers a speaker who was going to speak about malaria. The challenge of speaking about malaria is we all care, but nobody cares. And the challenge of the speaker was to make it real for each person in the audience from the first moment. Your topic, it's important to you, but you need to get into the worldview of the audience. They've got their day job, they've got all sorts of things going on. What's going to have them pause, engage with you, engage with your topic, and decide that it's worth engaging with the material that you're sharing? So answer this question. What's in it for the audience? What are they getting? Structure your talk. Now, I personally teach 3 basic structures. One is heavy on reason, one is heavy on credibility, and one is heavy on the emotional aspects. There's 7 broader structures, and there's probably 100 good structures for TED Talks. You'll need to decide which structure you will work. These structures work. Maybe when you've studied the best TED Talks, look at the underlying structure of how they have built up and shaped their message and delivered the punchline. But you need to decide on an underlying structure for how you build up to the message and bring your audience in. We're not going to go in depth in this video, but I will share some more on the different types of structures you can use depending on whether you're a very fact-based argument, a very credibility-based argument, or a very emotional-based message that you're sharing. Practice delivery. And practicing delivering a speech is not writing, it's not sitting. In the part of the iterative development, you've got to practice delivery. A wonderful message delivered poorly and stumbled with no gestures and no emotion and no energy falls flat. It's not enough to have a great message. You need to practice your delivery. What are you going to do with your hands? How does your voice rise and lower? How do you use dialogue to bring people into the story and really connect with what it is that you're sharing? So you need to begin working on the how you speak as well as the what you're going to say. Prepare materials. Slides. What slides are you going to have? At the very least, you need one slide that just leaves information of how people can contact you after, so that when they do watch the video, they have liked it. One page up in your video will be a link to your Twitter, a link to your blog, something that allows people that have engaged with you, met you through the TED video, can move on and build a deeper relationship. 10, marketing. The videos that go viral don't go viral by accident. TED videos that get millions of views don't get millions of views by accident. Yes, the content is great and it's well delivered, but very often you'll find the speaker well before the talk, already had a strong social media following, already had started to engage with the community on Facebook, on Twitter. If you don't have a blog, buy your own name as a domain and establish a cheap WordPress blog, but get something up there. And maybe even in the process of developing your talk, just get in the habit of writing short questions, short answers on different things you're dealing with along the process of developing your talk. Because what will make a talk go viral is, one, if you can very quickly get 1,000 people to view it in the first hour that it is up. YouTube, how does YouTube decide to send more traffic to a video? The key is watch time in the first hour that that video is live on YouTube. So you need to be prepared that when your TED organizer, when the TED organization says your video has now been uploaded, it's live on the TEDx channel or the TED channel, that in that moment you're ready to email your close friends, ask them to watch the video, share it with the people they think are important, reach out to the advisory group that you had worked with in development of your speech. Let them know it's now live. Let them know that you'd be really happy if they would share that with people that they think would benefit. Reach out to your Twitter, reach out to your emails, but the more views you can get in that first hour, the more watch time. So if people already know you, people have been part of the process of developing your talk, they're going to watch the video to the end. And it's how many people watch how much of the video that really shapes whether YouTube is a help and begins to push your video and it starts to jump up to the top of the rankings. So I guess I'm being told by the lights here in this room in Madrid that it's time to finish off this talk. But these 10 things to think about, there's a PDF in the comment, in the description section below. Begin working on these areas. But as soon as this video finishes, switch on a camera and give your first draft. Do not wait till tomorrow. Do not wait till the day before you stand up on stage. Switch it on right now. Look forward to hearing of your experiences as you build a talk, as you develop it, and I am sure you will change the world with your idea. Over now from Madrid.